So I'll say up front that this video has no Eve, it has no PvP, it has no explosions. It's just me talking. I wanted to give you guys an update on my health, and then I have a question for the audience. My health is deteriorated sufficiently far that I find myself unable to work. After a number of failed attempts, I've stopped trying to pick my old job duties back up again. I have filed for disability, and I find myself with a lot more time than I once had. I used to be a bit of a workaholic. I had a job I liked, working for a small firm with people I liked, doing interesting work, and it was really easy to pour myself into it, spend a lot of hours. And I had a lot of fun, and I feel very lucky that I had an opportunity to have a job I really enjoyed, that paid well, had a lot of fun at. But apparently that phase of my life is over now. And so like some days I'm laying on the couch looking out the window and I don't have the energy to do much else, but some days I feel, all right, I could do some things. And I've been trying to figure out, what will I do with my time now? I always swore I'd never retire, but turns out we should be aware that we can't always see the future. What does that mean for you guys? So I've been trying to think, how would I like to spend my time? And I don't really have the answer yet, but maybe part of the answer is this YouTube channel. Recently, I developed a problem related to my illness with photosensitivity, and it got to a point where leaving the house during the day, even with dark goggles on, could be quite painful. And screens especially were very bad. I would feel pain and nausea, and for some weeks I would sit down at the computer until I felt terrible, and then I would go lay down for the rest of the day. And I kept that up for a while out of a combination of not really realizing what was going on and maybe also stubbornness. And then at some point I realized that I could feel not terrible if I just didn't look at screens, so I stopped. And began to prepare myself for a life of reading physical books and maybe a bit of writing. But as it turns out, there's lots of excellent drugs, and my neurologist has me on one. And while the issue is not resolved, it's much better than it was. I've found that I'm able to spend some time looking at screens. If there's too much blinking, if it changes too fast, I start to get the pain and nausea, but particularly something that's relatively static can be okay for a period of time. Meanwhile, while this is all going on, I'm sort of trying to work through what would I like to do with my life now. I'm obviously going to spend time with my family. I'm obviously going to try to maintain my health as well as possible. I'm attempting to exercise as much as I can. I've been walking a lot. I worked my way up from being able to walk, maybe half a dozen houses to about 2 miles. Pleased about that. I tried to do couch to 5K and see if I could run. I was unable to. The recoveries between the workouts took a long time, hurt my leg, backed off, tried it again later, hurt the leg again. So I'm going to take a little break on that for a while. But when I'm not spending time with my family and I'm not exercising or otherwise taking care of my health, I have a lot of time. And I spend a lot of time thinking about what would I like to do with it. For sure, one thing I could do is play Eve and make Eve videos, and there will probably be some of that regardless of what else happens, but I have a lot of other ideas. I have thought about streaming, maybe stream Eve, maybe stream something else. I have thought about maybe doing a podcast on some topic, and I have a lot of different interests. History, economics, games, obviously, solving of problems. Back when I was working, I was very keen on career advancement. How does one move up the ladder? And I managed to help some friends and acquaintances also, kind of take their career in the direction they're trying to go. Maybe that could be a topic we could talk about. I find I miss giving advice. I liked being a consultant, and I liked when people would come to me with a problem and we could try to figure out, given their current state, given their resources, how could they move in some direction or another. I've thought about starting a Discord where maybe you can just come bring your problems and we'll talk about them and figure out what can be done, if anything. I don't feel like I ever really solve people's problems for them, but I make a good sounding board and can often figure out what resources they might be able to get in touch with. On the game side, to the extent that I can play Eve, I find Eve fun. It's an interesting game. I like chess a lot. Could do videos about chess. I've thought about other games. I've been playing some Worlds of Warcraft Classic of late, although maybe I'm going to shelve that. Up in the air on that one. That's a longer story. I'll go into it later. But so I'm coming to is this. There are lots and lots of different possibilities. Everything from writing a book to streaming something to who knows. And I'm curious, what would you as the audience like to do? Imagine that you're me, you're looking at the coming years, can't work, but health not so bad that it's impossible to do anything. How should we spend this time? What would be most fun? What would be most interesting? I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below.